Hi, welcome back. This is Emily from NDSP Plan Managers, and today we will be continuing our series on the NDIS, which is called Easy as Pie. I guess today I really want to focus on the topic of reviews, and there are three main types of review that can be done at the NDIA. Okay, and this is why I've got all my pie ingredients with me today. So I think I'll start off with the most straightforward review, which is actually the scheduled plan review. You will see when you take your NDIS plan, you'll see that there is a page which has a plan end date. That's quite an important date, as I've said before. Essentially, this is when your scheduled review will happen. So generally speaking, the NDIA reach out before that date to set up a meeting, and the purpose of that meeting will be to discuss your situation, your goals, and possible funding in the next plan. Okay, now don't panic if you have not heard from the NDIA. It sometimes happens that they haven't reached out to you and you're sitting there on the last day of your plan being like, where to? Your NDIS will not stop, okay? If that does happen, there will be an automatic extension so that you can continue accessing supports until a review does happen. So, just hear a collective sigh of relief. That's the scheduled review. You'll meet up, you'll talk with could be your early childhood partner, could be your local area coordinator, or your NDIA planner if your circumstances are complex. You'll be going, how did the red onion help last year? And you'll say, yeah, it was good, but I need a bit more. I also have realized I have a new goal and need a new support. Corn on the cob comes in, bit of a capsicum situation going on, new plan. We'll add this in as well. Now, when your new plan gets approved, it could be like this, or you may find that the total funding in your new plan is actually less than the previous plan. If you are concerned about that, or you disagree with part of the new plan, you are able to ask the NDIA to change their decision, and I'll go into that today. Otherwise, it might be that you're like, woo, I have less funding because I've built my skills, I'm feeling better about things, I'm more involved in my community, and so I just actually don't need these extra supports, in which case, go you. That is always a very positive story, and please share with us your positive stories as well. I should say that because we love hearing them, we love sharing them, and it kind of, makes us see the purpose of this whole scheme. So yes, do that. When you are coming up for your scheduled review, you may notice you'll get a call from our client engagement team. So we do have a team at NDSP led by Nicole, which will be doing reach outs throughout the plan. And one of the most important ones we schedule in is to chat to you before your end day of your plan. So I think I'll move on now to the second type of review under the NDIA, and this is called an internal review. It can also be called an S100. This type of review is exactly when you feel that the supports you've got in your plan might not be enough, or you feel the NDIA have made a mistake with their decision. If you want to go about an internal review, you can call the NDIA, you can email them, write to them, or even stop by the local branch close to you. There are some questions they will ask you, and actually there's a fantastic template that they've set up on the website. So however you request it, those questions will come in handy. On the phone, they'll ask you those questions, and it's things like, why do you need a review? There are quite a lot of reasons to ask for a review. If it's to do with your plan funding, the ingredients of your plan, that would be to do with the statement of participant supports. That's how it's worded in there. And they'll also ask you, what is the issue? How has it impacted you? How has it impacted you? And what outcomes are you seeking? Okay, send that off to them. Bear in mind, it could take a while for the review to play out. They have 3 weeks to decide whether to actually do the review. And if they say yes, they then have 3 months to see that through to the end. So in the meantime, I think a few people have said to me they're afraid of using the current plan because they don't want that to somehow disadvantage them, because they've used it. It's almost this fear that they're saying, I'm happy with it. The NDIA does not expect you to not use your current plan. They completely understand. Just because you feel they might have made a mistake with the new plan, you know, that doesn't mean your needs, your disability and your circumstances just, you know, take a little holiday. You've still got all those impacts. They definitely understand you might need to use the plan. So go ahead and do. And one of the things you might use the plan for is seeking some additional assessments and recommendations from professionals, because that might help you with your internal review. So, good. We have done the scheduled review, the internal review, and that brings me to the last one, which is the change of circumstances or unscheduled review, also called an S48. So for that one, the name kind of tells you what it means. Perhaps you were totally happy with this plan and then something happened. This could be a new diagnosis. It could be that you've had a hospital admission and your needs have changed, or you have a really a period where you need much more intensive supports. It could be that someone who was supporting you informally, a family member or a friend, maybe someone has moved away. So you've lost that support that was close to you. Those are all changes of circumstances, and certainly some of those might need additional or different supports. So again, if that's the case, let the NDIA know as soon as possible. You don't want to get into a situation where you've gone into hospital and not indicated the change of circumstance to the NDIA, and then you use all of your plan and are left with nothing whilst the unscheduled review plays out. So as soon as possible, let them know so that you've still got some things in there, and then hopefully you'll get your unscheduled review with your contact person, and they'll be able to sort you out with the supports you need. Also bear in mind, the unscheduled change of circumstance review does happen faster than an internal review. That's just a bit of a reassuring point, because of course you don't want to be thinking it's going to take 4 months to see through a change of circumstance. It can still take a couple months, but certainly not the time an internal review could take. Okay, so I think that explains the different types of review: scheduled, internal, unscheduled. And from here, I guess next time we'll really look at preparing for a planning meeting, preparing for a review meeting, so that everyone feels super ready to chat about their circumstances. All right, thanks.